Hello, everybody. Welcome to our daily Bible reading. We're up to Second Chronicles, chapter 3. We're going to be reading this right now. Let's open up in prayer. Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad, Baruch Shem Kivo, Mahuto Leolam Vaed. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh is our Elohim, Yahweh is one. And you shall love Yahweh with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And have these words which I command you this day be upon your heart. And you shall teach them diligently to your children. And speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you retire and when you rise. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and let them be frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorpost of your house and upon your gates. Okay, everybody. So we are going to be reading Second Chronicles chapter 3, continuing to see Solomon building the temple that his father David prepared for him with everything that was given. So verse 1 here it says, So Solomon began to build the temple of Yahweh in Jerusalem on Mount Moriah, where Yahweh had appeared to David his father. The temple was built on the threshing floor of Araunah, the Jebusite, the site that David had selected. And the note here says, Solomon built a permanent temple on Mount Moriah to replace the movable tabernacle, now at Gibeon, that had accompanied Israel in the wilderness. Mount Moriah was also a place where Yahweh had stopped Abraham from sacrificing Isaac, as we saw in Genesis 22, 1-18. David purchased the land when it was a threshing floor in 2 Samuel 24, 15-25. And then another note here says, why was the temple decorated so ordinarily? Although no one can build Yahweh a worthy home, this temple was going to be the best that humans could design. The care and craftsmen were acts of worship in themselves. Although a simple chapel is an adequate place to pray and meet Yahweh, it is not wrong to want to make a beautiful place of worship. Okay, that's the note for verse 1. And verse 2 goes on to say, the construction began in mid-spring during the 4th year of Solomon's reign. And in verse 3, these are the dimensions Solomon used for the foundation of the temple of Yahweh. And then in parentheses it says, using the old standard of measurement, it was 90 feet long and 30 feet wide. The entire room at the front of the temple was 30 feet wide, running across the entire width of the temple, and 30 feet high. He overlaid the inside with pure gold. Wow. Verse 5, he paneled the main room with temple with cypress wood, overlaid it with fine gold, and decorated with carvings of palm trees and chains. And it says here in the note, the greater house is the holy place. For verse 5, which reads, and the greater house he sealed with fir trees, which he overlaid with fine gold, and and palm trees and chains on themselves. So it's called the greater house, which he called the main room. It said here in the New Living Testament, but here it says the greater house. Verse 6 goes on to read, he decorated the walls of the temple with beautiful jewels and with gold from the land of Parvaim. And in the One New Man Bible, it says Parvaim has been identified with a gold mine in Yemen. Wow. Amazing. He overlaid the beams, thresholds, walls, and doors throughout the temple with gold and carved figures of cherubim on the walls. Verse 8, he made the most holy place 30 feet wide, corresponding to the width of the temple, and 30 feet deep. He overlaid the interior with 23 tons of fine gold. The gold nails that were used weighed 12 ounces each. He also overlaid the walls of the upper room with gold. Wow, gold nails. Even the nails were gold. Amazing. Verse 10 says, he made 2 figures shaped like cherubim, overlaid them with gold, and placed them in the most holy place. And the note here in the One New Man Bible says, these cherubim were made of olive wood overlaid with gold, and are not to be confused with those of solid gold on the lid of the ark. Good note, so people didn't get distracted. The cherubim are angels. And verse 11, the total wingspan of the 2 cherubim standing side by side was 30 feet. One wing of the first figure was 7.5 feet long as it touched the temple wall. The other wing was also 7.5 feet long. It touched one of the wings of the second figure. Verse 12, in the same way, the second figure had one wing, 7.5 feet long, that touched the opposite wall. The other wing, also 7.5 feet long, touched the wing of the first figure. Verse 13. So the wingspan of the 2 cherubim side by side was 30 feet. They stood on their feet and faced outward towards the main room of the temple. Across the entrance of the most holy place, he hung a curtain made of fine linen decorated with blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and embroidered with the figures of cherubim. Verse 15. For the front of the temple, he made 2 pillars that were 27 feet tall, each topped with a capital expanding upward another 7.5 feet. He made a network of interwoven chains and used them to decorate the tops of the pillars. He also made 100 decorative pomegranates and attached them to the chains. Verse 17. Then he set up 2 pillars of the entrance of the temple, one to the south of the entrance and the other to the north. He named the one to the south Jachin and the one in the north Boaz. And the note here says Jachin means he, the Lord, will establish, or he, Yahweh, will establish. And Boaz, in him is strength. In him is strength. I guess we see this building, and this is the Solomon continuing to get the building, and then we're going to see the furnishings for the temple in the next chapter 4. So this is the end of 2 Chronicles chapter 3, as we continue to read the scriptures, and it's so important to read. So praise Yah for this reading today. Keep reading your word, keep it out, keep getting it out. And thank you, Father Yahweh, for your holy word that we have the opportunity to read it. Have a blessed day, everybody. Yahweh be with you, and shalom, shalom.